Greetings, welcome to the Prime Directive. I'm your host, Jeffico. My co-host as always, Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
So, episode 2, Strange New Worlds, what you think?
Really good. Really good. It's hard to argue with this episode.
There's a lot of things you can argue with this episode. I'm like, the points are obvious. How can you be objecting to this but not this?
Actually, almost the entire episode is argument. But this is a very classic, morals, meanings, and messages kind of Star Trek episode.
We didn't get no Samuel Bogley.
Yeah.
No, I want to do that episode now too,
Yeah, you
Chris.
want to do that one too.
That was so dumb. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, but your time frame is off. Court martial.
There you go.
Yeah. That one, oh, okay, so I was just saying, like, there's not a lot of action in that one. That one had action at the end.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why, like, fist throws were a stunt double, but whatever.
It's fine.
Captain's personal log, stardate 2393.8. I have traveled to the Volterra Nebula to find legal help for my first officer. The atmosphere here is not suitable for human life.
It's definitely a courtroom episode. We got Pike, he's traveling to an Illyrian world, and, for the future, they're not very good with smog.
They don't have smog. Their planet's just not Earth-like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They didn't pollute it. That's just where they live.
Like, Pike's little atmospheric thing, even when it was operating, wasn't working that great.
No. No, they needed to establish, I guess, more that he was having a tough time with it, but yeah.
I like that even in the future, on different homeworlds, receptionists are still annoying.
Yes, definitely. I appreciate how his plan was just, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to sit here and die in your office then.
Everything in this episode I saw coming in ways. It's just like, he's pass out, whatever.
All right. That's going to be your problem.
Yeah. Got a Federation captain's corpse in your lobby.
Yeah, and I'm just going to keep coming back here and dying every day.
Too long. People are dying. You think anybody's going to use this lawyer afterwards?
Yep. Yep.
You can take off your mask, Mr. Pike. The air is safe for you now. I knew you were stubborn. I just didn't think you were stupid.
Luan, she's all guilty. She's like, oh, I was angry and I made a personal log. That would have been cool if, we had somebody steal that personal log, because then we would have had a conspiracy. I was just like, damn it.
Yeah.
Also, politely, fuck Uhura. Oh, Starfleet regulation says I can't get in personal logs without an order from a higher up. You stole the Enterprise.
I did appreciate that's something I pointed out immediately watching this episode. Just like stealing the Enterprise, A-okay. Reading emails, no, that's illegal. We don't do that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty fun.
We need to find out who turned her in. It might well be the only way to save her.
Then, respectfully, we're going to have to find out another way.
Nyota.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, they're just like, oh, I don't see where this is going, when she's like, asking April a bunch of questions, and it's just like, I see where this is going. You're supposed to be really smart people, that's why you're in charge of this hearing, and you don't see where this is going? Question 1! And she did 4 or 5, and I was like,
yeah,
come on, pretty obvious. He breaks the Prime Directive because he's trying to save lives.
Yeah.
Well,
why can't we break this directive?
Yeah, especially if it's saving lives, which they didn't really cover that entirely. They were just like, Luan, if she wasn't there because of her genetics, then people would have died.
Yes.
Because nobody else would have been able to fill her spot.
I do like that implication that everything Luan has done, no one else could have possibly done. I believe it.
It was her Gorn living instincts.
Yes.
Counselor, I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for Una.
And the people you saved during your career, would they be alive?
No, they would not.
That was an argument I thought they would have made with Una, was just like, hey, let's list some of these great things that you did. Because they mentioned her award or whatever, and like, hey, like, you stopped this, you did this. Those wouldn't have been done if you weren't there.
Yep.
So you did everything. You upheld all the Starfleet stuff. Even April didn't even get a chance to like say stuff. I think he even mentioned at the Pike or whatever, but like he didn't get a chance to like say super defendy stuff, which everybody else, when they wanted to, got a chance. Even Spike's just like, she's hiding something. An affinity for classical weird music.
Yes. They're composers, Jeff.
Well, the word Garfunkel, I would assume.
Pushed to its limits, genetic engineering is nothing short of playing God. By interfering with DNA and removing genetic outliers, we endanger the very essence of natural evolution.
Most of this episode was just the trial there, and we're going through all the bits and bytes. I would really like to talk to someone about the little badges that they have on for the trial, and that's right out of
TOS?
Yeah, TOS. What was the episode with the two-parter? That was the Menagerie? That's where I most strongly recommend remember them wearing those little badges.
Oh, then they were in the court ones too?
Yeah.
They wear their official stuff, and their official stuff have their like special like accommodations. You can't wear that every day.
Yeah, I know. And they're just weird little funky color square things in a funky design. I want to talk to someone who actually, like, did they just make random patterns, or does that mean something? Like, who?
Oh, if you want to figure that out, you should check Naval Awards and stuff, because I bet you it's very close to that, because a lot of Star Trek is naval related.
Maybe. But, this is something that it's always so interesting taking things from the original series and putting them into something modern, just as far as visual designs, because they were not designed to be seen in HD. Like, that exists with all these funky colors, and it's too big because you could kind of tell there was something spacey going on a shitty TV from the 60s. And we're doing it in full HD, and it's just like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, no, I was rewatching some TNG in high definition. I was like, those background things, questionable.
If evidence is procured through illegal means, it's inadmissible in court. You think some of the evidence against Una was illegally obtained?
If it was, could you get her case thrown out on a technicality?
I partially thought, like, because I'm just jumping around here, you'd already seen the episode, but I was just like, what if it's Kirk? What if it's Kirk that, like, hacked into the logs and leaked it so he could get the first officer spot?
That would be pretty rude.
Then I wouldn't want Kirk on the Enterprise. This version of Kirk. Kill him. But, we'll see him soon. And I'll be angry then.
Okay.
Where's his brother? I thought he was on the ship. You never get to see Mustachio ever.
It's probably around.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll be back. I know.
Power.
I know, the mustache is canon. It's canon.
Yeah.
I regret that you had to witness that outburst.
We won't say a word.
Thank you, Doctor. Of all of my father's former colleagues, Spock truly brings out the worst in me.
Spock had an argument. That was great.
That was fantastic. I loved basically everything Spock did today.
There's a lot of things they do with Spock that drive me nuts in this show, because it's just like, it's almost like young adult. It's where it's like, we are going to shape Spock into the character you see in TOS. It's like 5 years. Like, I'm sorry, like, he is like, fully formed human. He's the best of the Vulcans. He is the best of the humans. Like, he is the perfect Starfleet officer. And I got young adult Spock. Make it go. Like, give me more advice on what to do. Like, this guy didn't need that. This guy was pretty smart. So I feel like these aren't really connecting.
Okay.
And then, you got the relationships that also kind of aren't going to connect. And all that. So, like, sometimes Spock drives me nuts, but today was perfect Spock.
It was great Spock.
I'm sorry you had to witness that outburst. This guy is a fucking loser and I hate him.
Yes.
And that guy was a loser, and, like, I'm sorry, like, he stands up in the court and he's just like, person we've assigned to this, I'm going to overrule you, and, which I think is irregular. And then he's just like, Pike knew, eh? And he just questions that, and then he makes it about Pike. It's just like, you guys were objecting the entire time when it was about April breaking the Prime Directive. Like, you just allowed that to happen. So, like, super nitpicky here, but, some things are driving me nuts.
I'm sure all the legal stuff is kind of a mess. Like, it's been a mess for every single Star Trek courtroom drama.
Yeah.
It's never worked, but, it's future space laws, so maybe that is how it works over there.
Allow me this point. I'm going to remove his arm.
I'm sorry.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Oh man, shit. Well, this was it's just a really classic morals, meanings, and messages kind of episode. You know, what I took from this, I think it had the biggest similarity to like sort of a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing in the military, or don't say gay, that kind of thing. You know, they're hammering repeatedly all the horrific stuff that comes from persecuting people, oppressing people, or maybe not even something, you know, that at that level, but just being in an organization that doesn't allow people to be a certain way or something like that. All this horrific stuff that spawns from that, just simple laws that are, you know, that didn't allow the Illyrians to practice what they were going to do. It means, you know, I've broken my leg and I can't go to the doctor now because my family's going to be arrested. You know, it's all these downstream effects from just not treating people like people, and that's just a really good Star Trek message. It's a really good Star Trek episode.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke how there wasn't any metaphors in this one, but there was just a lot they covered.
Yeah.
Slavery was once legal. Discrimination against people for how they worshipped, how they loved, their gender, color of their skin. All legal at one time or another. A law does not make something just.
Especially in just her one speech there or whatever, like, you know, Starfleet thinks it's great, but like, hey, look at all these things you don't do. Look at all the things the Earth used to do, which we're doing right now.
Yep. Hey, it's no way. We're using sci-fi as a mirror for some current problems in society.
You know what drives me nuts is like Star Trek was always just like, hey, look at these characters. You should strive to be more like them because they're understanding. And hey, when they don't get something by the end of the episode, they do. And like, you get inspired by that. That makes you want to be a better person. That made the convention amazing because everybody there kind of had that ideal in them. Where it's just like, we're going to be friendly, we're going to be cool, we accept everybody. Like, it's such a great way to go. We ain't there yet.
No,
it drives me nuts. We keep seeing it, but like...
I feel like one of the, you know, you have to suspend disbelief to watch, in some capacity, to watch almost any kind of fiction. You know, if you go into a Harry Potter movie, you're not going to have a very good time if you just go like, hey, magic's not real, this doesn't make any sense. So when you're watching Star Trek, you have to do that, you know, for the ships and the phasers and the shields and stuff. But
I disagree, because that's the future.
Yeah.
You can't tell me it's not real.
And I feel like
I lived through the eugenics wars, Chris, in the 90s. It was hell.
But something people overlook is like, I think the biggest suspension of disbelief you have to do is just like the way people act. That's the biggest.
I know you want to help Una, Chris, but if you take that stand, this whole case becomes about you. You are the captain of this ship, you knew Una was an Illyrian, and you didn't tell Starfleet. You could be charged with conspiracy, and your whole crew could be at risk.
The biggest change for Star Trek a lot of the time is this better version of humanity that we can get to, but we haven't.
That's always been the draw for me, actually. Like, I love the sci-fi and all that, but just like to become the better people. And like, you're never gonna get to the stars being the way we are. Like, and not to get political, Chris, but we're just going backwards. But whatever. Yeah, no, good episode. A little more action needed. I mean, come on, do some maneuvers on the ship.
Okay, we're gonna celebrate by doing a barrel roll on the Enterprise.
Ship practically flies itself, you know. Oh, great, sure.
Okay, there's your little ship and your little action there.
Yeah, I love that the lawyer chick, Pike's girlfriend. Like, you know, she goes meets up with him. It's just like, you ain't winning this argument. I'm cooking food.
Yeah,
like,
I'm chopping this vegetable angrily.
Yeah. Why are you even stay for dinner? I'll sleep over. All right. You're right. Let's throw the case out. You're so charming, Pike.
Yeah.
Well, as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.